Boom. All right, guys, welcome back. All right, so look, man, we're going to talk about fragments now. All right, so I like to be quick. I like to jump right in. Well, hold up. Let me give you just a quick what I did this morning. So I got up this morning. Today was Friday. I got up this morning and I decided to do the insanity. The insanity is like a cardio workout, So I did the pure cardio, man. All right, so we're going to talk about fragments. Remember when I was talking about what an activity is, right? How activity is a window that displays the UI, that displays this layout. A fragment, it's like a reusable window, right? That's inside of this activity. So just imagine like the activity, and then you have like another activity, but it's a fragment. It has its own life cycles, like what we went through, independent of the activity's life cycle. All right, so before we get started, let's go ahead and create a new branch. Remember the version control thing. I want you guys to get used to using version control. We went through that a couple of videos back. So let's make sure that we on master first. Sorry about that, guys. So look, we should be on the master branch, and look, we're going to create a new branch. Now this branch is going to be for the fragments. So let's go get branch. So this creates a new branch, and we want to go work, and let's just say this is just say fragments, boom. And that's all we want to do right there. So now we want to switch to that branch. So we go get checkout. We just go work. Okay. And then just fragments, the branch that we just created. Okay. So now we checking out. You see it says switch to branch. So we switched over to our new branch that we just created. So let's go ahead and go back to our main activity here. So now there's a thing that I haven't gone over yet, and I will go over this later on, but just for a high level, there's a thing called dependencies, which all of dependencies is it's libraries that your app is dependent on to work properly. Actually, let's change up our structure right here and go into project structure. All right, there we go. So project structure, we need to go to the build Grado in the app folder, and then we go down, and here we go, dependencies. Whoops. Here we go, dependencies. So this is where we're going to place our dependencies that our app is dependent on. Okay. So we go back to the website and we include the Android X fragment library to the project. Okay. Head over back to Android Studio. Go ahead and paste your dependency. Okay. So now we just want to hit this sync button, because you have to sync your project up with these files these Grado files. Head over back to the main activity here. Let's go ahead and create a fragment. So first thing I want to say though, okay, so a fragment cannot be independent without a activity. Okay. So you have to have the activity before you can have a fragment. Even though a fragment has its own life cycle, independently of the activity's life cycle, but the activity can be independent, but the fragment cannot be independent. So it's like the child of the activity, I guess you can call it. Let's start fresh. Let's go ahead and delete this. Let's go here and create a class. Go to File, New, Java class, well, Kotlin class. Okay, we're going to name this Fragment A. Fragment A, create a class, Fragment A. Double click on that. All right, so remember, okay, I don't know why it's doing this, but just press add, whatever. All right, so what we need to do, the same way that this main activity, and you see the colons, and you see app compact activity, this main activity is extending app compact activity. Okay, so for a fragment, we're gonna need to extend, oh, you guessed it, fragment. All right, so we have to tell Android that yes, we want to import the fragment class in here. Android X, boom, fragment class. So now this class is a fragment, but not quite yet, because remember, it has its own life cycles and things like that. So that means it has its own layout, right? So Okay, let's go ahead and on Windows, you want to press Control O, and it's on create view. We have on create view. So this is where we're going to set our, you see how in the main activity we have a layout. So in a fragment, we're going to need a layout. We're going to need to create a layout also. Let's go ahead and go over here to File, New. We need an Android resource file. We'll name this, let's say Frag A. And you see resource type. We're gonna make sure that that's a layout and not a value, not values or anything else. We want to make a layout. Make a layout. Go ahead and click OK. Now you see this magical blue and white layout that we have. It is so beautiful, ain't it? We click the split. Go back to our Frag A. We need to inflate this layout. So you see on create view gives us an inflator, container, save instance state. We will definitely get into these later. For right now, the layout inflator is what you need to inflate the frag a.xml layout. All right, so in the on create view, see we need to return a view. Okay, so we're going to use the inflator to inflate the layout. Let's go ahead and go. We're going to return. We're going to say inflator inflate. Okay, we want to inflate, right? So inflate takes a, as you see right there, it takes a resource. So the resource is our frag a XML that we got. So let's go ahead and grab that. So it takes the frag a, it takes the layout, and then it also takes a container. So the container, and then the next thing that we have is our root. So right now, don't worry about it. So right there, we are returning our view. All right, so back in our main activity, like I said, we're gonna start fresh. So let's go ahead and delete this. We don't need none of this anymore. Let's go into our layout. Oh wait, sorry, we do need the tag still. We want to keep that, keeping our tag. Don't need the button for now. We're just gonna let's go into our activity main right here, and let's go ahead and get rid of our text view and our button. Now all we got is a blank, blank layout here. So like I said, okay, for the fragment A, see how it hands you a container? Okay, so what that container is you gotta put that container in a parent. So remember I said that the activity is the activity is the parent of the fragment. So let me go ahead and this is what we need right here. We want to go ahead and just delete that right there. So we want hold on a second. We got to constrain this. So we want to go end parent. So that's horizontally. So now we need to constrain it vertically. This is a little bonus you guys are getting for constraint layout. All right, so let's just go top. Once you see the fragments pop up. So basically right here, when this little square is right here, is where our fragment is. This is the container that's going to hold that fragment class that we made. And it's going to be right here. All right. So this is that container that gets fed to onCreate. And it returns this view. Let's go into our fragment A layout. And as you see, I added a color. I added a background color. So what we're going to see. So if you want to just go ahead and do Android background, then just go color black. What we can also do, we can add a text view. There we go. Now we have it. I'll zoom in. So we should see this. All right, so that was just something real quick. All right, so we're gonna make 2 fragments, but first go back over to our main activity main. You see inside this container where you in this name attribute right here, we're referencing where this fragment A is at. You see the package. So we're referencing where this fragment A is located at. So that's the com example first app. It's like your root, okay? And then now you have fragment A, which is your fragment that we just made. We'll need this to reference it in code later on, which I'll show you. So we can just name this. Let's go ahead and rename this to Fragment A. All right, that'll have to work right now. So let's go ahead and run this and see if we can, if that fragment will show up. Hopefully everything works right. So go ahead and run that. Let's see what we get. All right, so boom, there we go. We have the phone, we have Fragment A here. All right, so okay, so yeah, we're gonna go ahead and do another fragment. So we got Fragment A already up here, and this is declared inside the fragment container, Fragment A. So now I'm gonna show you how to do, we're gonna do Fragment B programmatically. So let's go ahead and jump over to, let's see, let's create another fragment. So we got a Fragment A here, so let's go ahead and create another fragment. If you remember how to do it, file, new, kotlin class, call this Fragment B. All right, same thing you want to do. All right, so we also need a layout here, and I'm gonna show you another trick on how we can add the layout just inside the constructor, and it'll automatically inflate instead of doing it the way we did Fragment A. But let's go ahead and create a layout. Let's go to new Android resource file, frag underscore B. And remember, the resource type is going to be layout. So frag B layout. That's okay. So go to the split. I always love to do that. Let's just copy frags A XML layout. Go ahead and copy the whole layout. Just paste that. All right, there we go. Anyways, so we'll change this color for frag B. We'll change this to, let's say, red. Got red. Maybe teal. What is that? All right, that's cool. Teal will work. This is frag B. Might want to change the color black, the text color. That way we can see it. Let's go back to the class. And just inside the constructor, just want to go R layout frag B, and that's it. So let's head over to the main activity, actually activity mains layout, because this is, we still need a container, because we still need to have a container though. So let's go ahead and copy and paste this container and name it. Let's say this is frag B container view. This should go up under this one. So bottom Fragment A container view. You want to go to the bottom of that. For this one, since we're going to add it programmatically, we just want to delete the name attribute, because we're not going to use the name attribute in this one. All right, so first thing we want to do, we want to only add a fragment if the save instance state is null. We only want to add a fragment the first time that the activity is created. Now, if it's being recreated again, then we will create our fragment from our save instance state. That way we don't want to have any redundancy going on. So if save instance state is equal to null. So the next thing we want to do is we want to make a commit to the fragment manager. So let's go support fragment manager. There it is. Support fragment manager. We want to make a commit to there. All right. So we want to always set the reordering of the fragment to true. We always want to set that true whenever we create a transaction. So the next thing you want to do is you want to go ahead and add the fragment. So we go to add, what was it? Fragment B container view. Boom. So now when we run this, we should see the black fragment A and then like the bluish color fragment B. Let's check it out. Let's try it. All right. We got fragment A and fragment B. So as you see, we got two different ways that we created the fragments. All right, one last thing before we go, we want to push this to our GitHub. So let's go git add, and then we're going to go git commit -m, add a message, say fragments. All right, we committed, we saved. Now let's push it to our branch. Git push origin. Then we got work /fragments. Enter. All of our changes has been pushed.